3, say it. Huh!
Today is the 4th annual historic cemetery tour.
It's our 4th, it's our best yet, I think, because of its theme.
Every year is a new theme. So the first year were the founding settlers that came out to Colorado before Fountain was founded, and how it was founded and platted, because it was platted in 1871, even before Colorado Springs was platted. Let's see, the second year we did settlers, another year we did children, and now we're doing veterans. My name is Kim Sweetwood. I'm a graduate student at UCCS in history, and next to me is Professor Barbara Heedle. I really hope you enjoy this tour because we are celebrating the veterans.
It's the 150th anniversary of the end of the Civil War. We have 13 Civil War veterans buried here, 10 Union, 3 are Confederate soldiers. It's also the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II. And we have 51 World War II veterans buried here. So we wanted to honor them.
I wanted to support the preservation work that's going on here at Fountain Fairview Cemetery, but it was also an opportunity to honor veterans and to learn about important local history.
Basically, we have 6 stations with all volunteers, 4 of whom are veterans who are interpreting the lives of 6 of the 160 plus veterans that are buried here at the cemetery.
You know, listening to the people in character, and I think it kind of grabs your attention a little more. I think that's an interesting way to teach about the veterans and just like storytelling. So I enjoyed that very much.
Welcome today.
Thank you.
I picked a wonderful day. This is so. Ready to take the tour today?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad y'all came today. We have a tour starting like every 10 minutes, okay? Come over here and have a seat here, and then as soon as we get another small group together, we'll get y'all going, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
With Station 1, we have Mary Sample.
I am Mary Sample. I was a Navy Wave.
She was a Wave in World War II. She served as a telephone operator.
In 1942, the War Department established what they called the Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Service, which is also known as WAVES. We were a branch of the Navy Reserve. Now, as a Navy Wave, I achieved the rank of SP3, Specialist 3rd Class. In 1946, I returned to Colorado Springs to the AT&T office, and that's where I met my Wendell.
Mary is one of 3 women veterans buried here. And her story is even more unique because her husband also served. They are our only couple who are veterans and buried here. Station 2, we have William Imes, who served in the Civil War, and he's one of the founders of not only Fountain, but he also donated, or his descendant donated, the land that has become the cemetery.
This cemetery was ranch land. It was a homestead for the Imes family. And they started burying their dead and let their friends bury their dead next to the Pioneer Girl. And she was the first buried here. Nobody knows who her family was. Nobody knows who she is or how old she is. She was never recorded. All we know is she was buried sometime before 1862. Veteran or not, she's always on our tour because she is the beginning. And it wasn't until 1922, I believe, that the daughter-in-law of the Imes family donated this land to the city for an official cemetery. And that's when they started gridding it out like they do normal cemeteries, you know, present-day cemeteries.
We also have Mr. Aragon, the father of Sergeant Aragon.
Mr. Aragon, who is, I believe, the first Hispanic to be killed from Colorado in Vietnam.
On that day, several 500-pound bombs exploded accidentally while 4 B-57 aircraft were preparing to take off on a mission. In spite of the hazards of the fire, exploding ammunition, and flying debris, he remained in the area, assisting in removing injured comrades and clearing the flight line of equipment that could any time be enveloped by fire. Through Mark's actions, many lives were spared. Mark, or Jose Ruben Aragon, was the second serviceman from El Paso County to be killed in the Vietnam War. He was the fourth from the state of Colorado and the first Hispanic from the state.
We also have Annie Quick, who is the wife of James Quick, who served in the Civil War. We have Mr. Roundsfeld, Milton Roundsfeld, who served in the Civil War.
History books are filled with stories of war and conflict. Generally lost in these accounts are the individual stories you're hearing today.
Stories that are partly military. The interpreters will discuss the military service, but they're also personal stories. These are men and women, young boys, who did nothing but serve their country. They were patriots. They sacrificed.
My name is Emma Maria McCarty Eubank. Folks around here just call me Emma. You can do the same. I was born in Virginia in 1861 in April, the very same month and year that the Civil War began.
We have Emma Eubank, whose two sons served in World War I together with another local boy, Charlie Torbett, and they are all three buried here.
Well, they all enlisted together, and they were assigned to the 41st Division, 148th Field Artillery Battery C, and they were shipped off to France where they fought in the Great War. They were honorably discharged in 1919.
My experience has been fantastic. I've learned a lot. The people here have put in, I don't even know how many hours, learning and training. They're great stories that they're telling, and I'm also just grateful that we have volunteers like this in our community that are preserving history.
I also do costume design and was the costume shop manager for Theater Works at UCCS with Barb Heedle. Yes, and so I did all the costumes for everybody last year, but I've known about it since the first year. And then she just asked me if I wanted to come in, and I've been an actress for a long time, and it's a perfect intersection with my being a history professor and now doing this, which is interpretive history. It really blends my two loves together so well.
This event started in 2012. I took a summer class that was a 2-week intensive class on cemeteries being used as primary source history resources. And it was through the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, with the permission of the city for our instructor, Professor Barbara Heedle.
I am the instructor or former instructor of the volunteers. I'm secretary and co-founder of the Friends of Fountain Fairview Cemetery Benevolent Society. Started this 4 years ago when I brought a class out here.
In the process of that, we took photographs, we did mapping, we measured out headstones, we graphed everything. About a month after the class was over with, the cemetery itself was vandalized, and our instructor, Professor Barbara Heedle, read about it in the Fountain Valley News. And she sent us an email. And a few of us were greatly upset because Vandals had hopped the fence into the cemetery. They took vases off of newer headstones and just used those to start bashing the older headstones, which were made of sandstone and had survived since the 1800s. A good number of them were children's headstones.
We contacted the city and got it together, and in 2 months' time, we came up with a first cemetery tour. And so I've been calling and asking students to come back every year. And this time, they came back in force.
With the help of the City of Fountain, we have been able to purchase surveillance cameras for the cemetery, not the entire cemetery, but we're working on that. That's what we do these fundraisers for, and also tools and equipment to preserve and restore the headstones that we can, and conserve the ones that are too far gone being totally restored.
As far as the cemetery and the Friends of Fountain Fairview, we just hope that through publicity, we raise awareness in terms of people taking care of their cemeteries, taking care of their residents, and allowing us to continue on with our efforts in terms of education and conservation. There are a number of headstones here that need repair. Some can never be repaired, but we hope to conserve them and hope to take care of the cemetery. If we're successful in that, we've done our job.
So we are still raising money to not only fund cameras all the way through the cemetery, but we are also funding cemetery repairs. So all of your ticket purchases and donations are greatly appreciated.
They can make donations to the Friends of Fountain Fairview Cemetery online. They can contact us through Facebook or Twitter, email. There's always somebody ready to take donations. We have donation jars throughout the community. The most obvious one is at the utilities company. A dime, a dollar, $10, doesn't matter. Every penny counts.
It's a wonderful program, and I will certainly tell other people to join me next time. So I really enjoyed it.
I'm grateful to them. I want to thank the Friends of Fairview Society for putting the event on, for taking the time to study this history, bring these people to life, to share it with others, and to honor the veterans. I feel like that's an extraordinary gift they've given to all of us.